The bold and the beautiful spoilers next 2 weeks. Eric's medical fate, Will's emotional fallout, and a romantic quad on the brink. The next 2 weeks on the bold and the beautiful promise emotional upheaval, medical emergencies, and romantic entanglements that could permanently alter several core relationships. From Eric Forrester's frightening health crisis to Will Spencer's failed attempt at damage control, and the growing complications of a romantic quad involving Elektra, Dylan, and Ivy. The CBS soap is setting the stage for consequences that ripple well beyond February sweeps. As tensions rise at Forrester Creations and personal loyalties are tested, viewers can expect confrontations, blame-shifting, and lingering fallout that will shape storylines well into spring. Will Spencer's damage control backfires. During the week of February 16th to 20th, much of the personal drama centers on Will Spencer, who finds himself caught between responsibility, attraction, and unresolved feelings. Will heads to Forrester Creations with a clear goal: repair the damage caused by Dylan's presence and reassure Elektra that she remains his priority. Unfortunately, Will's approach only deepens the divide. Rather than taking ownership of the situation, Will deflects blame onto Ivy Forrester, framing her as the source of the misunderstanding instead of acknowledging the emotional reality Elektra is experiencing. This misstep proves costly. Elektra, already struggling with trust issues and mixed signals, is left feeling dismissed and undervalued. The meeting ends badly. Will leaves Forrester Creations emotionally shaken, realizing too late that his attempt to smooth things over has had the opposite effect. Back at home, the timing could not be worse. Dylan, ever perceptive, recognizes Will's vulnerability and steps into the role of comforter. What initially appears to be a supportive gesture quickly takes on deeper significance. Dylan's closeness reignites questions about her intentions and whether Will is unknowingly falling into a pattern that others have already warned him about. This emotional triangle, complicated further by Ivy's involvement, continues to blur boundaries and test Will's judgment. Eric Forrester's health crisis takes center stage. While romantic tension simmers, the most alarming development over the next 2 weeks involves Eric Forrester's medical fate. At the Logan residence, Bill Spencer pressures Eric to complete his designs, emphasizing deadlines and business demands. Though Eric insists he can handle the workload, cracks are beginning to show, both physically and emotionally. At the same time, Liam Spencer drops a bombshell when he tells Hope Logan Spencer the truth about Katie Logan Spencer's secret designer arrangement. That revelation sets off a chain reaction that quickly escalates into a full-blown confrontation. Soon, Bill, Katie, Eric, and Donna Logan Forrester summon Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan Forrester for answers. What begins as a tense discussion rapidly spirals into a heated argument fueled by long-standing grievances, loyalty conflicts, and unresolved resentment. Ridge attempts to apologize, hoping to de-escalate the situation, but his words fail to calm Eric. Instead, Eric becomes increasingly agitated. His voice rises, his frustration spills over, and then, suddenly, everything changes. Eric struggles to breathe. Panic sets in as Ridge urgently calls for someone to dial 911. Within moments, paramedics arrive, and Eric is rushed away in an ambulance, leaving his loved ones stunned and fearful about what lies ahead. This medical emergency marks a pivotal turning point, raising serious questions about Eric's future, not just his health, but his role at Forrester Creations. Fallout and blame in the week of February 23rd. As spoilers for the week of February 23rd reveal, the aftermath of Eric's collapse will be emotionally charged and deeply divisive. In the eyes of many, Bill and Katie become the primary targets of blame. Their insistence on pushing Eric to keep working, despite warning signs, fuels resentment among family members and colleagues alike. The guilt is compounded if doctors determine that Eric's condition is stress-related or worsened by overexertion. Should Eric receive medical advice to step back or retire entirely, the consequences for Forrester Creations could be profound. Eric's absence would leave a creative and leadership void that no one is truly prepared to fill. Katie, in particular, may find herself at the center of a storm, forced to justify decisions that were made with business interests in mind but now appear reckless in hindsight. A potential solution: mentorship over management. One possible path forward may involve a compromise rather than a full departure. At one point, Katie considered hiring Deke Sharp as a designer. That idea could resurface as a practical solution, one that allows Eric to remain connected to the fashion house without bearing the full weight of responsibility. Under such an arrangement, Eric could serve as a mentor, guiding Deke creatively while prioritizing his health. This would preserve Eric's legacy and influence while acknowledging the limits imposed by his medical condition. Whether pride will allow Eric to accept such a role remains uncertain. For a man who has defined himself by his work, stepping back, even partially, could be emotionally devastating. Carter and Daphne's baby dreams face reality. Away from the Forrester crisis, Carter Walton and Daphne Rose continue pursuing their shared dream of starting a family. However, spoilers hint that their journey may not be as straightforward as they hoped. Both Carter and Daphne want a child deeply, but that intensity could become a source of strain if fertility challenges arise. As expectations clash with medical realities, the couple may find themselves confronting disappointment, frustration, and difficult choices. Fertility struggles would add emotional weight to their storyline, potentially testing the strength of their bond and forcing them to reevaluate what family truly means to them. Will, Dylan, and Electra, a romantic quad on shaky ground. Meanwhile, Will's personal life continues to spiral. As Dylan grows closer to Will under the guise of emotional support, Electra is left increasingly on the outside. Will's inability or unwillingness to set firm boundaries creates a situation that feels unfair to everyone involved. Dylan, who has nowhere else to go, cannot simply be cast aside. Yet her presence keeps reopening wounds and fueling suspicion. Ivy's earlier warnings now seem increasingly relevant, raising the question of whether Dylan's vulnerability is genuine or strategically deployed. Will may believe he is doing the right thing by protecting Dylan while pursuing Electra, but his actions suggest otherwise. The longer he avoids making a decisive choice, the more damage he risks causing to all three women and to himself. Themes driving the next 2 weeks. Across these storylines, several themes stand out. Accountability versus intentions. Good intentions do not erase harmful outcomes, as Bill and Katie may soon learn. Legacy and letting go. Eric's health crisis forces a reckoning with age, pride, and the future of Forrester creations. Emotional boundaries. Will's struggles highlight how avoidance can be just as destructive as betrayal. Hope versus reality. Carter and Daphne's baby journey underscores the unpredictability of life's most cherished dreams. What comes next? As February winds down, the bold and the beautiful positions itself for major turning points. Eric's medical fate could reshape the power structure at Forrester Creations. Will's romantic entanglements are inching toward an inevitable reckoning, and quieter storylines, like Carter and Daphne's, may deliver some of the most emotionally resonant moments. The coming weeks promise not just drama, but consequences, ones that will linger long after the ambulance sirens fade.